You are now about to witness the awesome, crushing might of I gotta be nice to my throat. Knuckle Up. Welcome, my friends, to the show that almost never ends. You'll notice we have a change of locale. Live from the home base of Team Serao. Knuckle Up number 201. This should have been the show I did last week. We're gonna do it until the first line comes in, which I love. Much better light, right? All the way back to nowhere. I'm taking a real good look at you. Real good look at your face. I tell you, let me tell you something. That 2-minute and 30-second intro, and my voice is hoarse because I've been black-facing it. It's being active verb, blackface. Black flagging it, black-facing it, so my voice is thrashed out. I need to control that. Got a lot more respect for Mr. Henry Rollins Garfield. But my point is that, I don't know what my point is. I digress relatively early on. But this is the show that I should have done last week. Round number 201. I'm your host, EUGENE S. Robinson. You know, S stands for stalwart. After all is said and done, when everybody else has run away, like mighty Ozymandias, I stand. Tremble, mighty. You stand before me. Anyway, this is round number 201. I'm your host, EUGENE S. Robinson. If you go to the front page, combatmusicradio.com, and scroll down, tis the season for giving. You'll see PayPal, pay your pals, even though Mr. Scott Kelly has departed for Water Scion. It's had a salubrious effect on the rest of us in that at least Scion is sponsoring a portion of my tour, my solo tour with Scott Kelly that starts February 15th, goes to March 10th. So Scott Kelly will be doing acoustic musicking and playing background for me as I tell sex stories all across America. Let me explain something to you. When I went on tour with the Fight Book, I did the US and Europe, and told fight stories that I couldn't put in the Fight Book, that I was legally constrained for putting in the Fight Book. Okay? When I did A Long Slow Screw, I did stories from A Long Slow Screw that I cut out. So we're talking about violence. But the next book I'm working on is called Love, question mark, love, exclamation point, 2 words in the title. And what I strive with this book is to make you as uncomfortable with sexual contact as I did with the proposition of violence. So this tour I do with Scott Kelly which I will ban cell phones and cell phone videos, so there's nothing to see on YouTube. I'm not all down with everything being revealed to people who are too lazy to leave their houses. It's like the Gnostic theory of knowledge. You got to know something, you experience something to know something, first-hand experience. So I'm going to tell sex stories. Constantly continue. I did it one tour, one show I did, and it was, you could hear a pin drop. It was even better than farting in church. People felt so uncomfortable. It was delicious. And I felt uncomfortable as too. Make no mistake, there's no puppet mastery going on here. It's just me subjecting you all to the, you know. It's like Jerry Sandusky when they said, "Are you sexually?" And then he's clearly in reverie. If somebody had said, "Mr. Jerry Sandusky, would you like to eat animal excrement?" What is your relationship to animal excrement? Do you find yourself sexually attracted to animal excrement? He would say immediately no. There'd be no equivocation. In any case, we're here at 144 South Wisman Avenue in Mountain View at Team Serao. Look around. I just finished. I got a modified training schedule because I still got the tingling in the arm. We're going to have Leopoldo Serao, coach, come in later. But right now, we're going to exult in having 100% correct pick, stone cold lock. I said it on last week's show, called my shot from far out. I picked John Jones. I picked Frank Mir, and I picked Little Nogueira. I wasn't sure which Nogueira was fighting who, and even as I entered the ring, I suddenly kind of really clicked into the fact that they were actually identical twins. Identical twins always do that freaky thing. You don't know. You just figure he looks like that. He looks different today. Man, that guy's moods run hot and cold. But anyway, it was a gruesome twosome, and already, I'll turn that off. Already the guys at Bloody Elbow, some writer at Bloody Elbow is doing this thing. Any microculture or minority culture always does this thing where they're concerned about what the majority culture thinks and feels, you know? It's like when I was a kid growing up, there was this kind of outpour with Sanford and Son, you know? And then Jackie Mason, you know? Jackie Mason, when he was in the Catskills, was Jewy enough for the Jews in the Catskills, but when he became, you know, common currency, it made you uncomfortable if you were a Jew. Sanford and Son was okay on the Chitlin circuit, for Red Fox. He was doing that shit nationwide. It's a little uncomfortable. Why do you think Dave Chappelle left his show? If he's thinking he's bullshitting with his friends, it's fine. And so this is this kind of creeping, gross cultural insecurity. And the guys at Bloody Elbow are saying, is this the face that we want to show to the world? What about when UFC goes on Fox? Is this what people want to see? Never mind the fact that hockey players are getting brain damage and committing suicide in droves. Droves means more than 3. Never mind the fact that football programs and coaching staffs all over are ass fucking each other in the shower. You know, never mind that guys are leaving football fields paralyzed. Never mind any of that. This guy is worried that Lyoto Machida gets choked out. Sorry if you haven't seen the fight, you should have seen it. That suddenly him lying prostrate on the floor. Prostrate, sorry. Is somehow putting a black eye on the sport. Bullshit. I already wrote an article about the decline of balls in MMA. I can't repeat myself, but I got something to say. I'm going to do it for Full Moon Magazine in Prague. They have apparently signed a column of mine, Fistic, for 3 columns. Anyway, here we go. We got Coach Leopoldo Serao. I want to get him before he goes off and disappears. Come on, have a seat, sir. You see, this is his place, his man's castle, his home. Welcome to the show, Mr. Serao.
Hi, thank you.
Okay, before the fight, we talked about it, and your national pride kicked in. I said John Jones and Machida, and you said Machida. I start making fun of you, and you're like, well, anything could happen. And I was like, anything could happen. But anything almost did happen. The first, have you seen the fight yet at this point?
No.
You still haven't
Just
seen it.
heard about.
Okay.
Machida did well in the first round.
Yep.
It's give a lot of problem for John Jones.
Yep.
People told me maybe he's won the first round.
He won the first round.
And Jones started to go in the ground, grapple with him.
Yep.
Yeah, my.
So have you seen any of the fights on that card yet or not?
No.
Okay,
I will try to take a look on the videos.
So now the question I have for you, I'm a big Nogueira fan, and Nogueira seems to me to be the kind of guy. Sometimes when a guy goes this way, when you expect him to go that way, it makes him an unpredictable fighter and kind of cool. But it never seems like he plays to his strengths. So why? So he had a chance to. He takes Frank Mir out on his feet. Right? You haven't seen it, but I'm telling you what happened. He punches him, wobbles Frank Mir, and then rather than ground and pound at him, he decides, I guess I'm an Abu Dhabi, winner, decides to shoot in on him. Mir comes alive on the grappling portion, rolls him, and gets him in a Kimura. Now, there was arm breakage. Was that arm breakage, did that happen because he was being a tough guy and refused to tap? Or as a black belt, do you think that was there a reasonable escape from a full side control armbar, a Kimura?
I don't have any idea what passed on his head.
Yeah.
It's hard for I tell something, but I think he's had a lot of pride, Like he's a black belt, he has name, his sport. Maybe he's lost before from years. Maybe he's going to go happen again. No, I don't tap. Like he's got me knock his out the last time he fought, so the referee stopped. And maybe he don't like give up, like he don't want to tap him, I give up, so let the arm break,
Well, they did, who did that? Henzo. That happened to Henzo before.
Yeah, which is Sakuraba, but it's different, because the position was so fast, And I don't see on this one here in Nogueira, but I think like get the arm going crank little by little by little.
Well, he tried to roll out of it.
So this position can hurt,
No, I mean, I was trying to think of whether he was muscling it and then he just had bone failure, or whether he was muscling it and couldn't muscle it and was just being like, fuck it, break it,
Maybe you don't feel anything inside there, because he want to win, he want to fight, and he don't feel anything over there. Maybe, right. Don't feel anything. Right. The guy only crank and break.
Well, after Henzo got his arm broken, the editor-in-chief of used to be Grappling Magazine, now it's Ultimate MMA, Todd Hester, he was there, and he said to Henzo, in the hospital, he goes, why'd you let the guy break your arm? You just tap out. And Henzo looked at him and said, my kids were in the audience. There was no way.
Family, everybody expects something, and Sakuraba was the race killer. A lot of things behind.
Well, anyway, okay, so now I'm going to go back to talking about the fight after we let him go, because he hasn't actually seen it, so I don't want to ruin it for him any more than I already have. But he was gone. If you remember, I talked a little bit last week about him being gone. He went down to Las Vegas, secret trip to Las Vegas, but it was an actual fact. The UFC is not getting all of their fighters from this fucking stupid TV show. I meant from that great TV show. He's not. They actually still have tryouts like any other professional sport. Guys can show up, and that's what Leo went down there for. So tell us a little bit about, you went down. How many? You said there were like 200 guys there. How many people did they have?
Maybe on my weight class, almost, maybe not, but for sure was 170.
Okay, and that's just in your weight class.
Yeah,
which is middleweight. So
no, 170.
170.
Welterweight.
Okay, welterweight. Okay.
And another one, 155, was over 200 guys.
So in total, would you say there were like 1,000 guys there? Because they have a bunch of weight classes.
No, this time it's going to be 55 and 70.
So just two, I got it.
Yeah.
2 weight classes at that time.
And Dominic Cruz and Raya Faber going to be the coach.
But this was
starting April, going to be alive on Fox.
Hold on, now I'm confused. This was a tryout for the TV show.
Yeah.
You're lucky. Okay. Well, I don't want to spoil the end, because we're going to talk about what it was like to be there. But the idea of of a man of our age, living in a house with a bunch of fucking jerk-offs, there would be murder in the first week, I guarantee you. You know, anyway, so you go down, you show up, guys are stretching, warming up.
Yeah, a lot of young guys over there.
Whose gym was it in?
No, it was in the hotel, in the Texas hotel.
So it's not where they do the TV show then? It's just a cage somewhere.
No, in the tryouts,
yeah,
it's pretty simple. They have the mats, have the side room,
in a hotel
room, yeah.
Okay.
So the guys call 40 guys, was 5 groups with 40 guys on my weight class. And my group was the last one, and was Joey Silva over there, and he's run the tryout. He's pick the guys. Right.
So he's making matches at the thing. It's like you go with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we start with grappling. Only 1 minute 30 seconds.
But there's a clock or there's a ref?
No, it's me and him. 1 minute 30 seconds. We say over. It's time.
I got it.
You know,
so Silva's there with
doesn't matter
stopwatch.
if you submit the guy 3 times, 4 times. Doesn't matter.
You go 1 minute 30 seconds. I got it.
Like drug training, you know.
I got it.
So this is my second time. The last time I did 2 years ago was for the season 10, about 85, but the guys cut my weight class. The same season from Kimbo Slice and Roy Nelson. I did everything. I passed the interview, everything that I come for the interview, everything. But this time, the guy called my name after grappling, called my name after.
So what happened with the grappling? So that you go out for grappling?
Yeah, the guy called my name. He cut maybe half of the room over there, and we did the pads. Pads are just.
So no, but I want to hear about the grappling. So they call your name for grappling, and then you go out, and then who do you remember the name of the guy you went?
No,
just some guy.
One guy fought MMA for sure. I don't know.
So
he's a young guy, a lot of young kids over there
19
with dyed
20
hair.
Dyed hair, yeah.
Loud, yell to look like when you fight, warm up for 1 hour. It's just training, just try out. It's simple. Be relaxed.
These are guys who want to get on a TV show.
I don't know. It's everything new for the kids, so I kind of understand.
Right. So so you go out. They say time, and you're fighting some guy. Does he shoot on it?
No, we start on the knees. So my game is always on my back. So I be on my back. I submitted the guy 1 or 2 times, 1 minute 30 seconds. So
how did you submit him? Armbar or chill?
Armbar and 2 times armbar with the triangle. So
somebody's watching you taking notes when they do it.
Yeah, Joey Silva. Watching the table, everything. Having the guy from MMA Junkie over there. Have a couple guys watch.
All right, so you
the guys cut maybe the half of the room.
Okay, all right. So this guy loses twice to you. Does he have to fucking then go home?
Yeah.
All right.
The guy, I don't know where he's from, but he's traveled all the way there for training 1 minute 30 seconds. Stand the line, stay for 4 hours over there, and just do 1 hour and 30 seconds. Have the backlog for getting in the first one.
Ah, man, how do you like that? Your whole life comes down to 1 minute and 30 seconds, 90 fucking seconds of failure.
He need to keep it doing, you know. I have more experience, so I hope he's keep it doing.
All right, so you go to the next round, which is
pads, hit the pads. So
just pads.
Yeah.
So you're
not 20 seconds. No, only hit the pad. 20 seconds.
Okay.
And Joey Silva call my name is over. No, it's good. You don't need to do anymore. The pad. Okay, his call after pad. He's called couple name for the interview, but this time he don't call my name. You know, I feel like why? You know, I have put all the guys in the room. I have more fight than everybody else. So I asked Joey Silva, hey, maybe I missed my name, you know, I don't hear because I packed my things over there in the back of the room. And he's no, this time I want new guys, young guys with maybe 5, 6 fights, and you lost on the Dave Loaz, your last fight was Dave Loaz, so you come from lost. I don't want. He's a very tough fighter. You have a good record, but they're kind of the guy who don't look for this show, you know. I just feel like you have a bunch of bad guys and the last one to his peak, you know. I feel like.
Well, you see, welcome to life over 30, my friend.
I'm not playing. I really understand.
I tell you, I've been.
The people want a young kids with dye hair, loud,
Yeah.
go there, be drunk, doing shits.
And that's why actresses in Hollywood disappear after they turn 40, unless they play, aggressive sluts like Cameron Diaz, which whatever. So he beat the guys, but because of his extreme age, didn't make it into the house, which is a saving grace. Because the reality of it is, let me tell you something. The reality of it is, if you get a house full of guys his age, and God forbid my age, there's no show. We come in, we read a book, we go to sleep.
We go hang out, talk.
Yeah, we're talking. We're not jerking off in the salad. We're not pissing in people's milk. We're not, there are no hijinks. We're not drinking all the alcohol. We did
everything before.
We've done this before. So maybe, Eddie Goldman is right in this, and that, TV brings the lowest common denominator, brings out the worst in anything. But whatever, it's a successful show. Remains to be seen about whether it's going to make the divide. Joe Silva knows who he is. This guy could end up being a Brian Ebersol. I think every single fighter, Brian Ebersol is a great story, but it's also a terrifying story. The guy's got 80 fucking fights. He's discovered overnight 3 fights ago. It was he was at 68, 70 fights. It's a lot of fucking fighting. It's a lot of fighting. The guy finally gave up being in Indiana and said, screw it, I'm gonna go to Australia, try to build a new life for myself there. Anyway, so it was a good experience. Team Serao represented. Then there were fights this weekend. You had, what was the jiu-jitsu competition that everybody went to? Saturday.
Last Saturday or
yeah.
Is upcoming Saturday?
No, the one that just happened.
Vacaville.
Yeah.
Vacaville submission, Vacaville Jiu-Jitsu tournament.
Right. So we had a bunch of wins.
Which maybe 4, I don't remember how many guys, but we got first, second place with Benji Silva, Casey Jackson, JT Silva, and John Chaplin.
Yep.
Yeah, I think only 4 from us.
John Chaplin, the crippler.
So we did well.
Screwed up my ankle. Yeah. So if we're taking first and second places, you got to understand something. There was a guy here, Marco, who was saying, "Oh man, I don't think I'm making any progress here." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, I'm getting tapped out by the same guys who always." I go, "All the boats are rising at the same time." He goes, "Yeah, I guess when I go to other schools, I tap everybody there." I go, "Yeah, we're all getting better at the same time." I myself, I used to be having to stick my chin in guys' eye sockets and put my thumb in their throat. I don't have to do that anymore, do I?
No.
But I still do it. But I don't have to. that's the point. I get better. And then Jean-Pierre, who we had on the show back when we were at the other fucked up gym, he had his second MMA fight.
Yeah, and the Impact MMA
MMA show out in Livermore. Pleasanton. And he lost
by decision for
a split decision. Was it split or unanimous?
No, unanimous, but the fight's very tight.
Very close.
It was a nice fight.
Yeah.
Both of them don't have too much experience, but went 3 rounds, a war.
Yep. It was
a Brazilian guy, jiu-jitsu black belt.
Jiu-jitsu black belt.
A lot of more experience than him.
Yep.
We did a lot of jiu-jitsu competition in Pierre. Started 2 years ago.
Started 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Fight like both of them fight like big names,
Yep.
Like have a future in the sport for sure.
Well, and also I think the thing that was noteworthy about his performance was that let me fix this. What was noteworthy about his performance is that he dropped from like 215 pounds, like 200 pounds in 2 weeks' time. So,
twice in short time, like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's hard, 220 for 205. Like him.
5-minute rounds?
Yeah.
3 5-minute rounds. So hats off to my son, Jean-Pierre. And then you say there's another one coming up, right?
Have a jiu-jitsu tournament, I think in San Ramon this Saturday, but maybe only 4 guys we're going to do.
Yeah.
And next year, we'll be on more competition.
Next year, as soon as I get rid
of MMA too.
As soon as I get rid of this tingling in my finger, every single fight in 2012, if I'm not traveling or on tour with somebody, I will be doing. So, of course, I got the tingling in my finger. And this Saturday, I will be in Seattle playing a show with Oxbow and Scratch Acid at Numos in Seattle. So those of you who are listening to this and are local, show up. But don't send me any emails, stupid shit about getting on the guest list. Pisses me off when you do that. So unless you're gonna get, I gotta drive 2,000 miles to give you something for free. No, it doesn't work that way. So anyway, and the fight coming up this Saturday is where? San Ramon.
I think San Ramon.
Okay, all right. Somebody said once that if one competition is like 3 months of training. You find that to be the case? And some guy said what you learn from one competition kind of is about worth 3 months of training, you know. And I don't mean he drilling. I guess he means just rolling with guys.
The guy trained for 3 months for when competes?
No, he says if you go into a competition, that equals 3 months of training.
If you went to the competition, it's like...
Yeah, if you compete in the competition, he said what you learn from the experience of competing in that competition is probably equal to about 3 months of training.
Depends.
Yeah.
I don't know. You learn a lot of things. You get a lot of experience. You know, depends from you, you know.
Okay.
I think every time you compete, you take something. Doesn't matter if you are white belt, blue belt, any belt.
Yep.
I keep learning. I'm black belt over 10 years.
Yep.
10 years, and I keep learning.
Okay.
Experience.
I will ask you a question that it's like asking a secret club question, and I've had a suspicion about it. I don't know if it's true or not, but in Luta Livre and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is it the unspoken official case that advancement with the belts has a lot to do with the fighter being an ambassador of the sport, which means he competes? So if you take a guy who competes, he will rise through the belt ranks. He trains and competes. He will rise through the belt ranks faster than a guy who just trains.
Have a lot of kind of guys who want to enjoy the Luta Livre and Jiu-Jitsu. So the coach, the teacher, the black belt need to know that have guys come over train only for training.
Yep.
And they have a workout day. It's so stressful, you know.
Yep.
And have his family house so stressful.
Yep.
So wanna just have fun, you know.
Yep.
What to go wait from this guy? You wanna push hard for him?
Yeah.
No.
I got it.
So and have guys have old guys like 50, 40, 30 guys only do for fun.
Yeah.
So it's different. Have guys wanna compete. If you wanna compete, be good. Yes, you need to show me a lot more.
Yep.
You need to deserve.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
you need to deserve. If
Yep.
you want, you need to deserve. Because if you give the things for the people too easy,
Yep. Yeah.
you know, people
You'd be like
take a shit.
like Elvis, who got his black belt in 3 months.
Elvis who?
Elvis Presley. All of a sudden, he had a black belt in karate because he was Elvis
karate,
Presley.
okay.
Yeah. In the old days, you know, when you hear somebody like B.J. Penn gets his black belt from Ralph Gracie, he probably put in 3 times a day every day
Black
for
belt from Ralph, I think it's not from Ralph.
What? Brown?
BJ, I think he's getting from Nova União in Brazil.
Oh, okay. Well, he was here. He was here in Mountain View with Ralph for a period of time.
Maybe a long time ago, before he...
About 10 years ago. About 10 years ago.
I don't know.
No, I know for sure. I was at House 10 years ago. Before I wised up. House perfectly good if you like getting chased down the street by a naked guy with a BB gun. Yes, he knows. I shouldn't even be saying this shit. But since I know most of the people listening to this show are music fans and not actual fighters, I can say whatever I want. What's he gonna do? Chase me down the street naked with a BB gun? Well, yeah. But outside of that, so anyway, all right, man. Well, thank you for participating in the show. I'm gonna still do the show from here. Finish it. And are you leaving or are you gonna stay?
No, I stay here.
You're gonna stay so I don't steal anything. Like all these wonderful, look at all that stuff. Yeah, right. Look at all this. Look at that stuff behind me. Look at that guy. You see that guy? Yeah, that guy. Look at that fucking guy. That guy's always there. You know, mad dogging me, trying to punk me out. So anyway, man, I haven't eaten anything today. I'm a little weak. so anyway, yeah. and I just trained. Yeah. So anyway, you had John Jones and Machida. Machida, you know what these guys hope for with their losses. What you really hope for with the losses is that somebody opens the door a little bit more each time. Now, Heath Herring is a fucking great fighter. But Heath Herring going in against Brock Lesnar was a frightened man. You could see it. Didn't know, I mean, assuming 100% skill that the guy has all over the board, you don't know which club to choose from your golf bag. Should I use an iron or a putter? What do I need to use? Cain Velasquez opened the door. Cain Velasquez opened the door on Brock Lesnar. I mean, there'll never be another, somebody else who hasn't figured out, if I fashion a key that's kind of a combination of a good solid sprawl and a solid punch in the face, then I got the key to Brock Lesnar. So the question is, in each fight, you reveal more. So you don't want to you want to misdirect. You know who's a master at this? Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz looked as bad as he could possibly look against BJ Penn, but it was just enough to win. But it was not just enough to give GSP a sense of the guy's real abilities. And then he says at the end, he goes, that was kind of a crappy performance. So what he said is, you may have thought that you saw something through this open door, but you didn't see anything. You didn't. I had the curtain up. I had just enough to beat BJ Penn. Can Nick Diaz do something other than punch? How solid is his jiu-jitsu? Has he been working on his wrestling? He knew he didn't need his wrestling to beat BJ Penn. Why open the door wider than you need to? No way. So the question is with John Bones Jones, the question is, how much did he give away in this Machida thing? He gave people sort of what they needed to see. What people needed to see with the Machida thing was, well, they didn't need to see it, but what they did actually see was him put on his heels. And Machida had figured something out. He's a smart guy. He's a smart guy and probably spent a long time watching film. And on paper, this is defensive tactics. This is stuff they could teach you at West Point. I got to get beyond his long-range defenses and then, salvos. He responded. The response was, I'm not going to shoot on this guy. I'm not going to wrestle him. But once he picks up his foot to front kick me, I got to be in fast with a punch. And I tell you, if I had to analyze Machida's problem, it was he got the punch and knocked him back. And if he had pulled a Vitor Belfort and followed him as quickly as possible, he would have been able to get some strikes. Would the strikes have been enough to take out Jones on the feet? No, because he would have eventually run into the cage and ultimately been introduced to a place he did not want to be. He didn't want to be on the ground with John Bones Jones, so he stopped. It figured if I reset quick enough, I can follow with the punches. If I was a millionaire, I'd have money. If. Tautologically speaking, look it up. So John Jones, you could see him going back to his corner, worried after the first round. Now this was a genius fight because you want to see history happen. You want to see a guy put together stuff. I mean, it's nice to see a painting by Picasso. You know what would trump the experience of seeing a painting by Picasso? Seeing Picasso paint the painting. And this is kind of what you see, when you see his fight. So he comes out of his second round and he says, okay, John Winklejohn and Greg Jackson tell him, look, this is what the guy's doing. You kick and he's coming in. Don't do it. Step to the side, left to right, and he's fighting a southpaw. The only time I got knocked unconscious was by a southpaw. I've been punched in the face plenty of times. I got knocked out by a guy who went to college on a boxing scholarship. Knocked down, not out. Guy hit me on the button, knocked me back 2 feet. I sat down in an L, like this. And the guy starts talking to me. It's see, the problem, the ref didn't stop the fight, Jack. I scrambled for his legs, yanked his legs out, climbed on top of him, and choked him. You see, but I opened the door too much. Anybody watching that would say, you know, Eugene's boxing skills are deficient. And largely, they are deficient, and I'm bothered by that. Fortunately, now that I'm here at Team Serao, we're going to have a boxing guy. Strict. I took karate for 8 years, Muay Thai for a year. I'm not worried about the kicks. I want straight stand-up, straight boxing, Rocky style. Oh, I didn't even get a locker. Mick, you didn't even give me a locker, huh? Now you're going to help me? So, anyway. So Jones, the breakdown was finally Machida was trying to do this two-step where he, follows a kick. John Bones Jones, this was as clever as when GSP knocked out Matt Hughes. Thinking on he shoots in with the front kick. Machida, as he's been doing every single time before, lunges in with a punch. But because this time, instead of standing right behind his kick, he's moved off slightly to the side. John Bones Jones follows with an overhand, looping left, boom, hits him, heavy hands, knocks him to his knees, shoots for the single. John Bones Jones gets the underhooks, stands him up rather than falling to his back and trying to get a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt in a standard guillotine, which is him on his back, pulling up, stands up with him, presses him against the cage. My first grappling competition, how I got taken out. You think, oh, my back is against the cage. The guy can't bend me back if he doesn't have to bend your back. He bent you to the side. Or in John Bones Jones' case, he lifted the arm up, grabbed the other arm, and just pushed. And what was interesting is Machida's arm, his one arm was braced, which is how you want to be. Ideally, it would have been the other arm over his shoulder. But John McCarthy, Big John McCarthy, was on the side with the arm, serious defensive tactic. So he's seeing the arm here, and I can tell, because I've done this long enough, that the body has gone limp. People on the other side of Machida's body see his arm go, John can't see it. They're screaming at John. He's limp. He's limp. John Bones Jones drops him like a sack of fucking potatoes, steps over the body, and was like, I'm done. Now can I get a break? Yes, Dana. I'll do whatever you guys want, but you realize I fought 4 times in 2011. It'd be nice to have a break. I've already proven. Let these guys jockey for position. Rashad Evans against Phil Davis. Mark my words. I'll call my shot from far out on this one. Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis, who does not look like the most complete fighter in the world, will beat Rashad Evans. Will beat him for emotional reasons. The dude's in purgatory. Nobody wants to stay in purgatory. You say, well, purgatory is better because at least it's not hell. But purgatory is a hard place to get to when you're so close to paradise. Phil Davis, he jokes, he goes, people always mistake me for John Bones Jones. They ask me for my autograph, I give it to him. Signed John Bones Jones, what the hell? To have this petulant, childlike thing continue with Rashad Evans, there's a reason people fucking hate you. That's rational. People's hatred of John Bones Jones is completely irrational. America loves a winner. No, it doesn't. We don't love winners. And I can feel it. Green Bay Packers, undefeated football team. And I fucking hate the Green Bay Packers. I fucking hate them, I don't like the sense of predestination. I like when there's a wrinkle in time and things seem non-standard. I got a lot of news to get through. This is going to be like an hour-long show. I don't have time, no. I don't really, the mailbag is overflowing. I don't have time. Guys have been giving money. Thank you. Knuckle Up 77 at yahoo.com. If you want to PayPal or something, feel free. Live it and love it. Don't fight the feeling. We accept $4.40. Kickstarter campaign ends December 16th. Now the guys who are giving money to the Kickstarter campaign are the wise guys, because they've figured out that if they give $10 to the Kickstarter campaign, they get a $25 DVD. Nah, it's funny. I don't think I haven't fucking checked you guys out who have donated money after we reached the level. And all at the suspicious amount of $10. There was somebody who gave $3. His name will remain, I will not mention his name. And I won't give the guy a hard time either. If it comes down to a sandwich or giving Eugene S. Robinson money, I fully understand you eating a sandwich. However, a sandwich will last you 12 hours. A friendship with Eugene S. Robinson will last a fucking lifetime. A friend of mine said once, he goes, Eugene, you're like a dog. You know, somebody is nice to you once, you're their friend forever. I thought about that for years and years and years. A friend of mine, he was the Undersecretary of Defense, the U.S. government under Bush. His name was Michael C. Duran. And I thought at first that Duran was highlighting what he thought was a positive quality of mine. I finally figured out that Duran was notifying me of his unconscious intent to not be that guy, to never do anything nice for me, because he was not interested in my undying devotion. It's fine. That is fine. It took me a bunch of years to figure it out, but now I figured it out. Yeah. I'm also like a dog or a camel. Elephants, very long memories. This guy used to abuse the camel, or abuse the elephant. Went away for 10 years, came back, elephant stomped him to death. It doesn't change the fact that my new hero in the animal community is the hippo. That story about the hippo whisperer that I told last week is phenomenal. The human mind can't comprehend having a 5-year relationship with something that, with no cause or justification, mangles, stomps, and drowns you. I'd like to think that the hippo is a discerning character. I'd like to think that the hippo is sensitive. I'd like to think that something happened to the hippo that day that led the hippo to say, you know what? I've had enough of this guy riding on my back. I've had enough of this guy feeding me carrots. I've had enough of this guy. And more importantly, the world has had enough of this guy. You know? How do hippos kill? Hippos kill like the gods kill, indiscriminately. I like that. Anyway, the other fights, Nogueira got his arm broken. I used to watch arm breaks. When Tim Sylvia got his arm broken, I used to watch it carefully. I like the idea of an arm break. You know, I mean, I want to see the real ramifications of the stuff I do. You know, stuff, we all stop. It's like when you watch skateboard videos. They always show the guy doing the fancy maneuver. They never show the beefs. They never show when the guy fucking blows it until Jackass sort of codified, you know, the culture of failure with everybody getting fucked up. And this became, now show videos of the screw-ups. So I used to like it. I used to like to watch the screw-ups because I thought it was a complete picture. But I found myself incapable of watching Nogueira's arm. It bothers me. It bothers me. Like the time I got attacked by the dog who I had to stab to death. Well, actually, I didn't stab the dog to death, so don't get the wrong idea. Well, I stabbed the dog, but not to death. The dog lived. He died when I shot him after I stabbed him to death. You don't know if I'm joking now. I was attacked. What would a hippo do? WWHD. In any case, I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it. Every time I looked away, I was eating. Couldn't watch it. I need to go back and watch it. The arm was broken here. I've seen the x-ray since. Frank Mir won. I called it. Emotional. I bet on emotions. Phil Davis will beat Rashad Evans. Emotional. Sometimes you can bet on that. Conjo Gear used to have, who's been on a friend of Knuckle Up, who's been on the show, used to have a saying, when guts is not enough, or some such bullshit like that. Sometimes this stuff is not enough. Sometimes emotions will carry the day. The other fight that I called was Little Nog against Tito Ortiz. You know, Tito Ortiz is running down his scheme. It's coming down to the end for him. You know, he's already a millionaire from the T-shirts, you know, the TV show. You know, unlike Chuck Liddell, I think Chuck Liddell has an emotional need to do this. I think Tito has an emotional need to get paid. There's nothing wrong with that. Frank Trigg, one of the pieces of news I've been, Frank Trigg is now a relationship counselor. How fucked up would I have to be before I'm gonna have emotional problems that I think can be solved by Frank Twinkle Toe Trigg? Frank Twinkle Toes Trigg. On what grounds is this guy gonna give me any relationship advice at all? Double teaming secretaries from Michigan in hotel rooms. Can't put the guy on Front Street like that. Some guy, I was on the radio on Sunday, some guy put me on Front Street. He's like, yeah, Eugene, last time I saw you, shut the fuck up. I don't know what you're talking about. You got any pictures? It's like I got a spoken word piece, my first sex story that I'm gonna do on this tour up in Seattle. It's a great one. You know, the last thing you want to hear is given some of the places you go to. Hey, Eugene. When I was interviewing up at Syntex, I heard that Ace the Job interview. I said, hey, what are you doing here? When I was working at Ziff Davis in the hallway, I goes, hey, I read your article in Hustler. That hey, the discovery hey, you never want to hear that. Hey! You know, you're in Pol Pot time. You're down in Cambodia. You know, you got them snowed that you're a day laborer. Guy goes, hey, there's my doctor. Ixnay on the doctor thing. So anyway, the fight was great. This was UFC 140. We had Coach Leopoldo Serao. We're here at Team Serao. This is, you know, if you want to find out where I am, it's here or 7-Eleven, baby. Or humping somebody's fucking furniture. I don't go any other place. Like when the Manson family was trying to get tough with me and threatening me, I was like, you have any fucking idea who you're talking to? You have any fucking idea? What do you think? I'm some fucking wrinkled bookseller? Some fucking punk kid with a ring in his nose? I'll tell you what, here's my schedule. Anytime you want to show up, you're welcome to. Here's the address. Here's where to find me. Here's a picture. Fucking hung up the phone. And then I thought, you know what? I'm a tough guy, but you know who's not a tough guy? My car is not a tough guy. In fact, I can't even see my car now. You know what's not a tough? My house is not a tough guy right now. So yeah, presuming some guy comes straight on, yeah, you're fine. Guy comes around from the side, you don't know what the fuck is going on. So anyway, we got a lot of interesting things. We got George MASVIDAL, friend of Knuckle Up, versus Gil Melendez, friend of Knuckle Up. I will recuse myself from calling that fight, even though I've got a very clear-cut idea about. I will honestly tell you after it's over what I thought, even if I'm wrong. But I can't do it beforehand because I don't want to jinx it. And these guys are both friends of Knuckle Up. I mean, if you want to be a purist, you could say, who's coming to the show most recently? But I don't think the show karma works that way. Anyway, Beating Disorder, got somebody at ESPN who actually expressed an interest. I gave an elevator pitch. You know, it's like a whole show that's like Jim Rome getting beaten by Jim Kelly on that TV show, which he thought was the end of his career, and I figure it's the beginning of the career. Confrontational. I'm not afraid of these guys. You don't like it? We'll step out. So every show will have me or my host, Danny Stevenson. Young Danny Stevenson. You know, he represents lower weights, upper weights, somebody. I mean, it's nice to be nice. In any case, you got George MASVIDAL. I will not pick a fight. But it's interesting to me what's happening is that Strikeforce is being rated for their talent. And the UFC, against their own better interest, I think, is going to decommission the last UFC property that they own. Bellator is still there. They will do anything to keep Bellator going. Dana White's psychology, I think he will put out feelers to purchase Bellator at some point, but I don't think that's good for the industry. They already have 375. Do you hear how many people showed up for this tryout? It's a lot of people. You can't have MMA properties every weekend. I'm sure Dana White's going, baseball does it. Boxing doesn't. Baseball's popular, boxing's not. But you can't build personalities. Baseball's teams. Team has a personality. Yeah, there's Albert Pujols, Alex Hernandez every now and then. I'm just pulling names out of the hat. I don't know shit about baseball. Anyway, my friends, this has been round number 201. It's about an hour. All I've had to eat today has been an egg, and yesterday I had nothing. So I'm a little peaked. I don't have a bell. I didn't plan well enough. I remembered to bring it here. You're getting a tour of the whole place. This is round number 201. I'm your host, EUGENE S. Robinson. The S stands for sleepy. Thank you for coming. I'm gonna be out of pocket for a bit. At Numos, the Comet next to Numos, and then do an hour of me telling sex stories to an unwitting audience. And then a journalist, Chris Espy from the Seattle Rocket, comes in, does a Q&A with me and David Yao, and then we wander over to the show, and then I'm out of pocket until the 23rd. So I might miss a show, because I got some stuff to do. Secret mission. I can't tell you about. I need an energy bar of some kind. Either that or crystal bath. Anyway, EUGENE S. Robinson, calling from Team Serao, also known as the home of the night fight. Yeah.